The sound of rain. Maya loved the rain. To her, it was more than just water falling from the sky. It was music, a melody only she could hear. Every time it rained, she would sit by the window of her favorite cafe, a little nook tucked away on a cobblestone street, watching the drops race down the glass and sipping her lavender tea. One particularly stormy afternoon, she noticed someone new sitting at the table across from hers. He wasn't reading a book or typing away on his laptop like most of the cafe's regular patrons. Instead, he just sat there, looking out at the rain, lost in thought. Maya tried not to stare, but something about him caught her attention. Maybe it was the way his dark curls fell over his forehead, or the way he tapped his fingers softly on the wooden table, almost as if he could hear the rain's rhythm too. She decided to sketch him. Maya always carried a notebook for moments like these. The lines of his jaw, the gentle curve of his lips, and the slight furrow of his brows, all of it came to life on her page. But as she shaded the outline of his eyes, she realized they were staring back at her. "Is that me?" he asked, his voice warm and curious. Maya froze, her cheeks burning. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I like sketching people." He smiled, a little amused. "It's beautiful. Do you always sketch strangers in cafes?" "Only when it rains," she admitted shyly. His smile widened, and he reached into his pocket, pulling out a small notebook of his own. "Funny. I only write when it rains." Her curiosity piqued. Maya leaned forward. "What do you write?" "Stories," he said, flipping open the notebook. "Mostly unfinished ones. But maybe one day, I'll write an ending." Their conversation flowed as easily as the rain outside. He told her his name was Arjun, and they laughed over how often they must have crossed paths without noticing each other. By the time the storm subsided, they had exchanged numbers and promises to meet again. Weeks turned into months, and every time it rained, they found each other in that same cafe. She would sketch, he would write, and together they created something beautiful. One day, when the first summer storm arrived, Arjun slid a folded piece of paper across the table. "It's finished," he said softly. Maya unfolded it to find a short story, a love story. Her breath caught as she recognized the characters, a girl who sketched strangers in the rain and a boy who wrote stories on stormy afternoons. "It's about us," she whispered. He nodded, his eyes steady on hers. "But it's missing one thing." Before she could ask what, he reached across the table, taking her hand in his. "The ending. I was hoping we could write it together." Outside, the rain fell harder, drumming against the window like applause for their unwritten future.